Mercury has been removed from a lot of the vaccines, but there's aluminum in those vaccines, which, operates along the same biological pathways and does the same kind of damage. It's extremely neurotoxic.
RFK Jr. is correct that mercury was removed from all routine childhood vaccines over 2 decades ago. And I'll address his misleading statement on aluminum in a moment. But first, unfortunately for him, because he wrote a book about this, the fact that they took mercury out of the routine childhood vaccines decades ago blows a hole in his theory that the mercury in vaccines was increasing autism risk, because autism spectrum diagnoses did not start to go down after the ethyl mercury was removed from the vaccines. So in an attempt, I guess, to avoid admitting being wrong, he says, well, maybe it was the aluminum in the vaccines, not the mercury after all, which is, again, simply not correct. In fact, a study of 1.2 million children conducted over 24 years was published just this year that specifically analyzed the impact of exposure to aluminum in vaccines on risk for allergies and autoimmune diseases and other outcomes, including autism spectrum disorder and other neurodevelopmental outcomes. This is figure 3 from that paper that shows their findings on the hazard ratios for chronic conditions as a function of aluminum exposure from vaccines. That vertical dotted line coming up from 1 there on the x-axis, that's where that would mean no difference in risk for any given chronic condition. I'll give you an example. Like if you look at the top group there where it says autoimmune conditions, the first one down is rheumatoid arthritis. The black diamond there is their best estimate for the risk difference, and then those black horizontal lines to either side are the confidence interval. And if those horizontal black lines cross over the vertical dotted line at 1, that's considered to be a statistically non-significant finding. Now you'll notice that for some of these findings, including down at the bottom where it says neurodevelopmental outcomes, that the lines are actually to the left side of the vertical dotted line, which technically would actually mean that risk was significantly lower among children who receive vaccines with aluminum for those conditions. Now in reality, I would stop short of claiming that aluminum in vaccines reduces your risk for autism spectrum disorder or food allergies and the other ones shown here based on these data. To me, it seems more likely that that's the result of some uncontrolled variable confounding that they didn't account for. But what you can say is what they didn't find. You can say they conducted a study with 1.2 million children who received vaccines with varying amounts of aluminum or none at all. And they did not find any evidence of harm. There was no indication that the aluminum from the vaccines was increasing risk for any of these findings. The human body processes aluminum salts similarly, regardless of whether they're injected into the body as part of a vaccine or ingested and absorbed as part of food or water or breast milk or formula. RFK Jr. has never produced any high-quality clinical evidence to support his claims that the aluminum in vaccines causes the dreadful things he says that it does. And that's because no such high-quality evidence exists. If he has a reference, I would be happy to take a look. But when I go looking, what I'm seeing is data from millions of children showing it's no problem.